Yeah. Great in the market. We got the scoop from the cars to the games. Stay in the loop. Latest news. We break it smart. The hobby is sports. It's where we start.
What is up, everyone? It is Saturday. It is 3:22. You know what that means?
It means we're running late. That's what it means.
Time for another episode of Grading the Market, part of Boxcore Studio. Man, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Like Rudy always says, you don't want to be left behind. We have a lot going on. As a matter of fact, forgive me if I'm winded. We're actually working on some things just right now. That's why I'm goodness. What's up, Elias, man? How's everything going?
Man, everything's going good. I got my bets hitting. I got some parlays in play, and I got a full day of football in the works for me. So I'm out of work. My wife took the kid to HEB so I could record without getting bombarded with "Dad, what are you doing?" Right? So we're all set. What's going on your side, brother?
It was good, man. Did you have a good Christmas?
Man, I had a great Christmas. Topped it off by taking the kiddo to SeaWorld yesterday. It was a pretty good showing. It was humid as hell, though. I'll tell you that. And I almost walked around with the Axe body spray, trying to get everyone in the vicinity of me. I was like, man, we gotta scare the fish away or something. But no, bro, it was a great Christmas. How did yours turn out?
It was good. It was good. Obviously spent it with family and friends and stuff like that. Got to see all the kiddos open up the presents and stuff like that. For us guys, you know how it is, dude. We're just there to We're just there
for the pictures, bro. That's all we're there
pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Hey, Joshua's already up in here. He chiming in. He's like, "Yo, what's up? What's up, Joshua? How you doing, brother? Hope you had a Merry Christmas as well."
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Joshua.
Hey, so what's up, Elias? What you got going for us today?
All right, bro. So we're gonna talk. This is the second to last week in the NFL, right? Obviously, my team got bounced, but there's still a lot of left to be covered. I believe your Chargers are still. Are they playing for home field advantage, or what are they? Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So later on they have. I believe they play the Texans, and both teams are still. I think the Texans are still in it, and like you said, the Chargers are still trying to get a better seed. So that game it matters to both teams and stuff like that. So that's going to be interesting to go ahead and watch.
Man, it's going to be a great showing by Varian Hampton, bro. They just said that Vidal's out for this game, so expect them to go from getting 10 to 11 touches to about 16, 18. But we can't sleep on that Texans defense. They're still ranked, I believe, 4. They're a top 4 running defense and still a top 10 defense overall, right? The secondary is pretty stacked still. But CJ Stroud, bro, choke city. Houston Texans, that's what they're known for as of late. Choking here and there. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to the games today. I have some money on the line, being that, we talk about the hobby. That is my hobby, and I think I'm pretty damn good at it. Well, as of late, I hit a little streak. But
you know what? Yeah, speaking of that, I know you touched on that a little bit on last week's episode, and when I was thinking about it, throughout the week, we didn't even get to touch on that. So now that we're here, Elias, like you said, I have my hobby, and now you have your hobby. Let us know about that.
Yeah, so I started looking at, TikTok's what really had my attention first, right? I saw a lot of people posting their parlays, and without myself putting money in it, I was kind of like, really? You think he's going to get the over and rebounds on that? Or, that's basically what it is, over and under on said subjects, right? And I kind of started mimicking them, bro, just pen and paper, be like, this is what I would have went for. This is what I would have went for. And then I realized that it's actually legal in Texas. That's where we're based out of, right? And I was like, you know what? Let me get it. So my first bet ever, I flipped $5 into, believe it was 90. And the other 5, I flipped to 20. So I'm like, I think I have something here. Being that when Bluey's not on TV, I'm watching some kind of sports, whether it be college ball or the NFL. So I was like, let me just start playing around with these parlays. And I think I have enough knowledge sports-wise to kind of keep me in the running, especially with Rudy Campos backing me up, or the fantasy god himself, Brandon Medina, taught me a lot when him and I were doing
what was it called? Well, we know what you're
Oh,
talking
down
about.
down for the count. When we were doing down for the count, my bad,
Okay.
Brandon. If
Okay.
you want to go ahead and hit me, send me a message or something. I don't blame you. But yeah, bro. So I had a lot of time with some people who were kind of in the ESPN field for a while, and I believe with that insight, it kind of gives me a little advantage. So let me just give you an example. For like today, they have Justin Herbert. Are we taking him the over or under on 221 passing yards? Right. I went ahead and said that he's gonna go over big, but we're gonna need a big showing from Keenan Allen and his wide receivers. Well, what I'm
Mm.
hoping though is that he checks down a lot, right? So that Hampton could get us those yards. Because as long as it's considered a pass, it all adds up together.
Yeah.
Laurie Markkinen, Kawhi Leonard last night saved my parlay. Um, it's been very good. Makes the games more exciting when you have something on the line, right? Because sometimes I just have it on as background music, background noise. But
Mhm.
lately, I see myself just like comparing, like, oh man, y'all better get this, or. And then when you lose your parlay, it's funny because your mind starts thinking about all this stuff that can't like doesn't happen, right? So I missed one earlier by point 0.5, and in my head I was like, is there a way they could reverse that call after the game? Like, but
Hey,
we're just chasing that dragon, bro, like they say.
and real quick though, so was it hard to like get started? Because I'll be honest with you, I don't dabble in that, but it is something that has caught my attention, and I'm like, huh, and I'm like, because it looks like it's fun, also, or it looks like it can be fun at times, and
Yeah.
so it's something that I've started thinking about it. I was like, huh, I might go ahead and do that myself. But yeah, I was like, was it easy just to get started or what?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty easy. Most of those apps give you bonus picks just for signing up. So if you deposit $5, they'll match it. Or I believe Underdog gave me $80 after my first $10 deposit. So
Mhm.
I was playing with house money essentially, right? So any of those winnings, you get a cash out. So that's kind of how they get your foot in the door, right? They're kind of rewarding you just for giving them money. But when you're playing it, you don't want to play these six leg parlays right off the bat. We're not ready for that. You have baby steps, right? If you
Mhm.
could flip those $10 or $30 in a 3 leg parlay, then take that as a win. That's $20 you didn't have beforehand.
Mhm.
And so what I like to do, I break down my profits, right? So I do 5 leg parlays for the most part for $10, flips them to about 50. I'll withdraw 30, then I'll play 20, and
Mhm.
then I just take a percentage out of everything and I put it back towards it, and I'm up. I mean, I don't really want to disclose how much I've won, but I've been doing this for about 2.5 months so far, and I'm
Mhm.
well over 2 G's
There you go.
in winning. So, and I've lost about 500 on the way. So
Okay.
it's a good ratio. It's a good ratio, but it's only if you have free time, free money like that. But it can get addicting. I'm just
Yeah.
letting y'all know. No, I have a homeboy at the place I work at. He's like, bro, there's that gambling website. It says, if you have problem gambling, the first question they ask is like, well, what's your problem? And this guy's like, my only problem is that my parlays aren't hitting. I'm like, I don't think that's what that hotline's for, bro. But whatever makes you happy. But
No,
Jacob,
I was gonna say now remember earlier I told you I was like, hey, I've been thinking about dabbling into that. So I kind of know what it's like a little bit and stuff like that. But I have a nephew who he's like big time into it, and I guess he's the one that maybe like I got eyes on that kind of like introduced me, you know what I mean? And he would come up to me and he'd be like, "Oh, I'll go." He would be like, I hit my 5 leg parlay," and once again I just like come back at him, and I'm like, "Man, boy, if it ain't a 10 leg parlay, I don't want to hear about it." You know what I mean? Like, and then he just started laughing because he knows I'm just bull. I don't mess around with that, whatever.
yeah, and I believe our hobbies kind of parallel each other pretty good because y'all go out there getting those mega boxes and whatnot, chasing those autos, chasing those one-on-ones. That's
Hmm.
kind of what we're doing. We're just trying to load up on the way to start to like bigger wins, right? Like I said, I stuck with 3 leg parlays for a good while, then I started moving on up. But yeah, if you could give me some insight on the hobby from your perspective, how does it feel when you when you're doing a break and you get a card that doubles the value of the box that you've broken or stuff like that, bro.
Oh, it's the greatest feeling, man. It's the greatest feeling. You know what I mean? Just to get a banger. As a matter of fact, Chris Leha on X was showing off. Well, he recently caught a pretty good card, a banger of his own. You know what I mean? Hit of the box, or that we'd like to say. But yeah, man, it's cool, but again, like you brought up earlier with the gambling, and they say, hey, if you have a problem in the hobby, we always tell people, especially the ones who are starting off, be careful, because that feeling when you catch an auto or you get a banger or a card like that, it can become an addiction to where you just want to keep ripping and ripping and ripping and ripping. Back in the day, when I remember when I was helping out doing spaces for goddamn cards, we had somebody speak, and they came on and they were just like, you know what, I love ripping and ripping and ripping, and they were sharing their story with us, and they were new to the hobby, and we told him, we're just like, hey, be careful, when you buy singles is a route to go, because you get to buy. And I remember he was saying, he was like, but I like that addiction, man. I have to do it. So
It's that dopamine rush, brother. That's what it is.
yeah, you could tell, like it caught him. And then I remember we did a space like, weeks later, where that speaker came back, and he jumped on, and he was like, guys, he goes, I just want to let y'all know, y'all are right. You know what I mean? Like, he got himself into financial trouble with all the breaking. And then, so all of a sudden he was jumped on trying to ask questions like, hey, how do I sell these cards that I have right here, brother? And we're like, my goodness, you know what I mean? But we let him know, you know what I mean? You got to let people know about that.
Man, you're gonna get nothing but like pennies to a dollar when it comes to that stuff. If it's not those, if they're not autoed, or they're not, if they're not numbered or anything, it's like you're really just getting coasters. No disrespect to the hobby, but I have a couple of Jeremy Sohans I put my cup on top of to not ruin my tables. Man, I was cracking up at your reaction the other day. So Topps announced that they're actually doing a Stranger Things drop, right? You could get Millie Bobby Brown, aka 11's. You could get a part of her costume from this final season, which has been fantastic. And to hear that you haven't spent a single second watching the show hurts my feelings, Jacob, because I thought we were gonna bond over Strange Things. But all jokes aside, man. So what? How much do you think something like that could go for? Maybe an auction. Maybe like an auction.
That's gonna be up. You're gonna have to, when stuff like that comes out, it's gonna be up to the people. Well, two things: the people, the stranger fans who are in the hobby, you know what I mean, are the ones that are probably going to be the target. You're going to want to hit those ones up. But yeah, those cards, we're not going to know the value of them until they actually come out, when they start selling and stuff like that. But yeah, like Elias was saying, there it is. I have not watched one episode of Stranger Things, so when it comes to that, I don't know anything about it. But that card was nice. I think it was like a what we call like a tricolored or something like that. If I remember correctly, that you showed me. So yeah, that was a really nice card, and I think it was like a 1 of 1 too.
It was a 1 of 1 with I think it was an official. It had like an official worn on set stamp or something like that on the upper right hand corner.
And Topps is keep doing that. Topps is, with shows, sports. There's nothing new. You know what I mean? They're going to keep going.
Yeah, I believe Topps announced for these past NBA games that happened on Christmas, they're adding those. Did you happen to catch the patches that they were wearing? I believe it was a snowflake, right? It was a snowflake with the NBA logo. Man, they look pretty dope. I mean, as a non-collector, if I could get my hands on one of those, man, I'd be pretty satisfied. Maybe turn it in for a couple of bucks and then put them on my parlays or something.
There you go. No, yeah, definitely. Those they're gonna keep doing, like I said, keep doing stuff like that. You're gonna see on special events like with the Christmas Topps or they're trying to put patches, certain little patches on jerseys, and that's going to be like on all sports, really, stuff like that, just so that way they can insert them, chop them up, insert them into the card, be like, oh, maybe it's an out of 10, out of 15, depending on how big that, in this instance, that snowflake was in the back of the jersey and stuff like that. But yeah, man, it'll be interesting to see what product it's going to come out on. That's what we're going to have to wait for. So
yeah, yo, so tell me about that Wemby card that kid hit last week on that hanger. He said he had went out to the gas station or something like that. I don't know if you heard about that.
Oh yeah. So that Topps Chrome, it's still hitting, and we love seeing those cards. So keep showing them. People are showing off their heat. People are showing off their bangers whenever they get them. In the hobby, we love to see them. So keep showing them off. I don't have it with me, but somebody did hit like an 8 out of 10 Wembanyama, I think it was. I want to say it was autoed as well. It looked really, really nice. That picture of Wemby and that product looks really, really good. And does, like I said last week, that product is pretty cool, but I won't be spending
chasing it.
Yeah, stuff like that. I just wanted to see what it was like, and it did look nice, though. I won't lie.
Yeah, so I have you've probably seen him in the chat a couple of times. My boy Hooper Flash, he hosts some breaks on Twitch, right?
Mhm.
So he had gotten this box of WWE cards, so maybe about 5-6 months ago, and he tells me, "Yo, Sid, just because you're in the chat, you pick out which pack you want me to rip, and whatever's in there you get to keep." So he opens up these 4 and duds, bro. Like, I don't even mean Dudley Boy duds. I just mean duds, like coasters, right? And we get to that main pack, bro. I got a 25 out of 100 John Cena.
Oh wow!
With I believe it's like green prism or something, right?
Mhm.
He was talking it up, and I was like, "How much do I owe you, bro?" He's like, "I'm a man of my word, and plus, it's recorded on Twitch, so I can't take it back even if I wanted to."
Hey, speaking of cards, man, just to let you all know, I know we brought it up last weekend that we were going to be working on getting Elias his own card here. Those are the rules here at Grading the Market, and Elias got a sneak peek at what's in works for him.
Man, I'm excited, man. I can't wait to share it with y'all, and I hope y'all enjoy the card as much as I do. I mean, but the second I get my hands on that, it's gonna be all over my profile photos and whatnot, and it's a pretty dope design. So I appreciate you and the Card Master for making it, bro.
Yeah, and then once again, you'll be able to get those Elias cards if you visit chunkyflamingo.com, make an order, and use the promo code ChunkyCards20, gets you 20% off, and then they're going to go ahead and slide those cards into your order. I'm pretty sure you're going to get one if you use the promo code as of right now.
Yeah, so that's the mission. Yo, bro. So I remember a while back you said you don't have TikTok, right?
No.
Well, I'm not, like I said, I'm not really in the hobby, but I saw this big scandal. I guess there's these breakers on there. I can't remember the specific channel. Where they uncovered it was a Pokemon break, right? There was a God pack, holographics and whatnot. Well, he saw them first, and then he went off camera. Then he's like, "Oh, this is what you want," and it was basic with maybe one holo in it. And they played it back, and they're like, "No, like when you fanned them out, those were all holographics. How did he end up with those cards?" Man, that's the type of dangers you also go through with, taking part in those breaks, man. So someone who paid maybe $10, $15 for that pack could have had a couple $1,000 come up or hundreds of dollar come up just to have it taken away from you. Well, and it's recorded and they're still moving slimy. So y'all who are interested in the hobby, y'all just have to be careful with who you get involved with. It's all sunshine and rainbows until you get jacked on on a national platform.
And that little, I guess you can go ahead and call it a scam. That little scam that Elias is talking about, you can tell when when breakers are doing it. So how they do it is they'll maybe put like a semi nice card, somewhat of a banger, and they'll put it in the back, they'll hold it off camera and stuff like that. Maybe a boy who's watching will be, just like has it. So then when they're doing their break, and like you said, sometimes they fan them out, they can go like, oh, you'll see the reaction of like the people in the room or around the mat and stuff like that. It'll be like, they get really excited. So what happens is when they go off the camera, somebody will take that card out, slide it, to the, oh boy, so that one puts that card back in, and they'll be like, oh, and it's just like a dead giveaway. They'll have like the same reaction, and then they'll come and they'll like find it out, and it'll be like a Jeremy Sohan card, like, oh, that they got.
Yeah, it's like, oh, so that's really why you got excited for, because you got a Joe Johnson card. Get out of here! No one's doing backflips for that on camera.
So you could tell when they're doing that little scheme or whatever, this and that. It's like, oh, meanwhile, the autographed Wemby is over there on the table, off of camera and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
It's already getting loaded up and getting ready to get shipped out to get graded and whatnot.
It's already on its way to PSA, to Golden.
That's what you call a modern day hit. That's what you call hitting a lick, Jacob. That's what that's what they say nowadays. That person just hit a lick on natural. No,
but that's what they do. That's what they do, and that's how we're doing it. And actually, Elias, we still might. I know when Anthony was here, and maybe we'll invite him on, but we've been talking about doing a grading the market episode, but where it's just like a dark side of the hobby. You know what I mean? And talking about like, what I just explained to y'all. The only problem that we have with that is that, if you look at it, I just showed you how the breakers do that little.
You just gave them some tips.
Yeah, I just told you, you know what I mean? So I don't want y'all to be running out there, doing, and I'm pretty sure that, our circle is pretty tight, and you know what I mean, that they would be taking advantage of people like that. But yeah, but no, we talked about doing an episode like that where we're just like, hey, look, these are the things to look out for, you know what I mean? But truth be told, Anthony and I, we've talked about it, like I said, and we're like, man, if we do this, we're going to be teaching people how to do this stuff. And we're just like, we'll touch on that more in the future.
Yeah, like we have to really break down that episode so we're not getting accused of doing the same that they're doing. Yeah, bro. But just like we are talking about depth and whatnot, did you see that the Spurs now stole the top spot in almost every power ranking that was released yesterday? I believe on Bleacher Report, ESPN, Yahoo Sports at that now has our San Antonio Spurs back on the top spot. Those Thunder players, bro, dirty as hell, salty as hell, and lame as hell. I mean, if y'all follow me on X at elsith_v2, just know that I'm not as calm as I am on the show. I'm very, I have no filter, right? And lately, I've been going at these little Thunder fans because they don't want to give the respect to our team as they rightfully deserve. Jacob, what do you think about the new come-ups of the Spurs, bro? Their new playing style, just everything. What do you like about them?
No, I love it. It's great being at the top, man. I was so sick and tired as a Spurs fan of being in purgatory for so long, and it feels good. You know how they always like to say winning cures all and stuff like that. So
and all we do is win as of late.
Yeah, and especially when you're being the number one team, you know what I mean, or the stuff like that. And not just like beating them, but like beating them. What was it, 15 on Christmas Day, and I think it was like 20 the game before and stuff like that. So, man, yeah, that's the real reason why the OKC fans are so upset. It's because we're putting the belt to the butt, right?
Yeah. I'm glad you said it like that. I was gonna say it the other way, but yeah, bro. So today's gonna be pretty eventful, y'all. There's a lot of good games happening in both the NBA and the NFL. I believe your Chargers just started maybe 10 minutes ago. We got the Spurs taking on the Jets tonight. Man, I love watching Laurie Markkinen play. I so wish we would have made a trade this offseason. You know, a lot of the deal breaker was us giving up Jeremy Sohan, Keldon Johnson, and a couple of picks. You know, we're team forget those picks. Jeremy Sohan has lost his spot in this team, in my opinion. And Keldon Johnson has had a real big upgrade, man. He's been kicking butt off the bench. Now I could say I'd hate to see Keldon leave for the way he's playing now. But with his trade value and whatnot, I believe we could have made a move for Laurie Markkinen. I think they're even speculating. The great Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs over at Kent's Five said that what was his name? Dude from the Hawks that the Spurs should look in, Jalen Johnson or Jalen something, that the Spurs should make a play on him. But a lot of people are saying what we haven't heard in a while. We like our team. We like who we have. So there's that, y'all. You know, if you want to improve, which we can always get better, we got to start making some moves. Some of these scrubs all need to be on the bench, in my opinion.
You know what? I admit at the beginning of the season, I was one who I was like, oh, we need to make a trade this person, trade that person. And now just to see like everything come together,
you're like, I mean? No, everyone works.
Leave it alone. And I think I talked to when I did the sports answer or with the Rudy Campos, we were talking about that. And that the way I described it was from the old Weird Science movie where they're creating the girl and they're there at the computer and it just starts working on its own and they're like, it's working, it's going by itself, look, it's working, it's going by itself,
just leave it as is.
Just leave it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I feel right now about it. As of right now, things always can change. You know what I mean? See what happens.
You know what me and the great Chris Leha from MCS General Contracting say about, we don't judge a team until the All-Star break. That's going to tell you how good or how bad of a team it really is. So I'm actually thinking about pushing out another episode of USOA Court, the Spurs follow-up edition. We had an episode last year, and I believe we peaked at about 130, 140 listeners within the first hour and 220 the second hour, right? But of course it was a bit vulgar because you get me and Chris Leha, speaking. There's gonna be a lot of F-bombs and S-words, bro, but it was a great time. So maybe we might circle back to that, Jacob, and we'd like to have you on there, give you your take on the Spurs at that point. But y'all, if it does happen, it's gonna be around the time of the All-Star break. Whether it's during or before, we'll let y'all know. But I'm really gonna push for another episode of USOA Court.
There you go. Definitely. I'll definitely love to jump on with y'all.
Because y'all stars, bro. You have the invite.
So what else you got going on this weekend?
Just work, and I promised my wife a dinner date. So not gonna make it happen today. Like I said, I'm tired from working, so we're gonna probably go out tomorrow. It's like they didn't get enough for Christmas, bro. They're still like, I got her a James Avery charm with Virgen de Guadalupe, Virgen de Guadalupe charm, and she wants to get it put on. An Eagle Pass, if you take it to them, bro, they want to hold your bracelet hostage for like 4 days just to put one damn charm on. But if you go to Dillard's in Laredo, they get it done in like 4 or 5 minutes. So,
gotcha.
So she's really pushing to go to Laredo. She loves it over there. And, I go wherever the food takes me. Even though I'm still working out, Rudy, I promise I'm still trying to watch my diet and whatnot.
Hey, you know what? Before we forget, man, I want to give a quick shout out to UTSA. They won their bowl game yesterday. Their first responders bowl took down FIU. I got to admit, man, I was a little bit worried at the beginning. FIU jumped out to a 14-0 lead, and I was like, oh, man, this is not good. And then, man, the floodgates just opened. UTSA just does like the Spurs did to OKC, did them
Belts, but
57-20, bro. So hey, shout out to
so
them.
so this is what I want to tell y'all. I want to give y'all a little warning too when you're doing your sports bets, right? So I bet on the ECU versus Pittsburgh game earlier. Two of my legs hit, and then I had ECU's quarterback Mike Wright for over 149.5. Bro, he didn't play a single snap at quarterback. He went in as a running back 3 times, and it doesn't help your projection. So if you see it there, see,
Mm.
see, he didn't have a single snap, did not play under quarterback. Well, since that's his original position, technically he was in the game, and it just scratched. It's just a scratch, bro. He didn't get a single yard. It ruined my whole morning. I'm like, man, this is gonna be an easy $150 come up, and nope. It's
Oh
like,
man.
let me take you $25 real quick. So, so yeah, that's basically all I'm gonna be doing. Like I said, when I send you that parlay that hit yesterday, it was actually on the way home from San Antonio. I had stopped at El Parador, Choke Canyon,
Mhm.
famously known for being sued by Buc-ee's for ripping off their beaver. I put in a bet while my brother went in to get some drinks and whatnot. I was like, yeah, let's see if it hits. So by the time I got to Dilly, I had already gotten that alert that my bet came through. So I'm on a little bit of a hot streak right now. Well, other than this morning kind of ruined it. I don't really bet on college ball, but
Mhm.
you got to risk it for the biscuit, bro. You know what they say.
There you go. There you go.
But yeah, so what do you have going on for this weekend?
I'm gonna be spending time with family. Dude, I've been running around. It's funny, right? Full disclosure, man. Right before the show, Elias and myself we were texting each other. We're like, "Hey, where y'all at? And what are we gonna do?" You know what I mean? Because I've been running around and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna relax and stuff like that. We apologize once again for coming. A little bit late, a little not at the 1 o'clock that we usually do. But we'll try. We'll try again. Next weekend.
Yeah, we'll try or not.
Or not. We'll see.
Wherever the time takes us,
Yeah.
but we do appreciate each and every one of y'all for tuning into us. And if you ever missed the live stream, you could always catch us on Box Score Studio. What is it? TV on
Just
YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, just Box Score.
There
Go
we
ahead
go.
and give them the plug, bro. I'm still
Yeah.
learning. I'm still learning the
Don't-
URL.
Like Rudy says, don't forget to subscribe to Box Score Studio. We're working on a lot of stuff right now, and we're gonna. I'll let Rudy go ahead and announce those things, but they are doing stuff like that. That 4-episode, or it's like a 4-episode documentary of Derek Gervin just dropped.
The
as
life
well.
of Derek Gervin.
Yeah, the life of-
Wonderful.
Yeah, make sure you go check that out as well, man. That was really cool. It was interesting. Was hearing all those stories, but yeah, I don't want to give away too much about that. Make sure you go and check it out.
Yeah, if you guys don't want to watch, the whole documentary one sitting, it is broken down into 4 parts. And it's it was it was produced pretty good, directed well. And Derek just had a lot to say, and it's a good listen. Like I said, if y'all haven't watched it yet, I would highly recommend y'all do so. But Jacob, family calls, NFL's calling, and got bets and whatnot to stock.
There you go, brother. Hey, thank y'all, all of y'all, for joining Elias and myself this Saturday. And like I said, we'll see y'all again next Saturday. All right, guys. Y'all have a good one.
Peace.
Later.